Yo, what is up, family? How y'all doing today, y'all? We right back with another TikTok compilation, y'all. We right back with another video. We already know what's going on at this point. You know what I'm saying? We got a consistent number of videos on the channel. If this is your first time here, make sure after you watch this video, go back and look at the other crazy compilations that we have on the channel, y'all. But anyway, we're gonna start it off with the Vladimir Putin Black Jesus video, y'all. They are revealing some crazy secrets that a lot of us have already been on top of. Let's get right into this video, y'all. Let's go.
Today, Vladimir Putin reveals to the world a secret that European has been hiding from African for more than a millennium, that Jesus was black.
Even in the Bible, y'all, it says that Jesus had skin of bronze and hair like wool. That's self-explanatory, y'all. Self-explanatory.
This proof that mermaids are real. This video was taken during the submarine expedition in the Greenland Sea. When it pans over, you're gonna look at the guy's right shoulder and you'll see a fin. Here.
Oh!
This is what the second camera got.
Body recovered was incomplete, but based on the remains that were taken from us, it looks like the same species.
I just knew I was looking into the face of another intelligence, another species like us.
Do you believe mermaids are real? Follow my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for more, and interacting really helps.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. If it wasn't a mermaid, it for sure was a siren. I know y'all know about them sirens. Oh yeah, that's a woman for sure. For sure, that's a person. Man, I ain't seen that show yet, y'all, but they put it right in our face, y'all. Right in our face. That's crazy. They say a lot of mountains be giants and all kind of different stuff.
Look at this photo of Kate Middleton and her children. Does anything seem off to you? First, here. It appears there was some editing around Princess Charlotte's sleeve. The area where the skirt and sweater sleeve meet don't seem to align quite right. Second, here. The area where the Princess of Wales hair and zipper meets seems to be modified as well. You can see a line which can indicate that the image was photoshopped. Third, here and here. Many have questioned the placement of the princess's arms, which seem unnaturally long as they wrap around her children. Fourth, here, the future queen's hand, placed around her youngest child, Prince Louis, appears a bit blurred. The image was published on the Prince and Princess of Wales official social media pages for UK Mother's Day, with the caption, quote, "Thank you for your kind wishes and continued support over the last 2 months. Wishing everyone a happy Mother's Day." Prince William was credited as the photographer. Hours after it was republished by news media across the globe, several of the most trusted news agencies, including the Associated Press and Reuters, issued a kill notification, a rare warning to media outlets that an image should no longer be used. The AP message read in part, quote, "At closer inspection, it appears that the source has manipulated the image. Please remove it from all platforms." This Monday morning, March 11th, the Prince and Princess of Wales official social media pages posted a message addressing the controversy. Seemingly signed off by Princess Kate herself, it read, quote, "Like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion the family photograph we shared yesterday caused. Kate Middleton Middleton had not been seen officially in public since Christmas Day, until an image published last week supposedly showed her being driven in a car by her mother Carol. That image too sparked a great deal of questions because it was quite grainy, and many questioned whether or not the woman in the passenger seat was in fact the princess. Back in January, Kensington Palace announced that Princess Kate had been hospitalized for an unspecified abdominal surgery, and that she would step back from public duties until at least Easter. In the months since, coverage of the princess's absence by the British press has been relatively subdued, though her prolonged absence from public function has certainly raised some eyebrows.
Hey, I don't think that I know who this lady is, y'all. So if somebody in the comments could gladly inform me on who this is, like I did with Selena Gomez, that would be very, very helpful for me, y'all. Because I have no clue what's going on. But that photo was obviously edited. Whatever's going on is sketchy.
It has been an incredibly tough couple of months for our entire family. But I've had a fantastic medical team who have taken great care of me, for which I'm so grateful. In January, I underwent major abdominal surgery in London, and at the time, it was thought that my condition was non-cancerous. The surgery was successful. However, tests after the operation found cancer had been present. My medical team therefore advised that I should undergo a course of preventative chemotherapy, and I'm now in the early stages of that treatment. This, of course, came as a huge shock. And William and I have been doing everything.
Whoa, car has 7. I don't think there's a car in the background. Whoa.
And William and I have been doing everything we can to process and manage this privately for the sake of our young family. As you can imagine, this has taken time. It has taken me time to recover from major surgery in order to start my treatment. But most importantly, it has taken us time to explain everything to...
Man, I don't know what's going on with this situation, y'all, but it's too many questions. Anytime when there's questions and too many questions, something ain't right, y'all. Don't let them start thinking that y'all crazy for thinking that something might not be whatever they want you to think it is.
Some people in Northern Europe were surprised when they found a very strange rock. I don't know what kind of stone it is, but its color is very similar to flesh and blood. Legend has it that it is the flesh of petrified giants. Because it was not suitable to exist in the New Age, God destroyed them, and they turned to stone. These rocks look nothing more than chunks of meat. Not only that, people also discovered rocks with strange shapes, such as human faces and bodies. The mountains look like human muscles. Do you believe there are giants turned to stone in the world?
Some stuff is just obvious. If you can't see it and it's right in front of your face, continue being a sheep.
So when the schools say that the Pilgrims and the Native Americans feasted together and celebrated after they taught them how to survive on the land, that part isn't false. That's actually true. But they always cut the story off there, and there's a lot more to this story. As the Native Americans were kind of becoming outnumbered by so many Pilgrims, they started to slowly take them out. Now, one of the biggest attacks that is known to have happened was the Green Corn Ceremony attack. Basically, what happened is one of the native tribes named the Pequots were celebrating their annual green corn ceremony. And a green corn ceremony is an annual celebration that usually lasts for about 4 days and is practiced by various Native American tribes. And they did not agree to the original treaty that Squanto negotiated between them. And because of this and the fact they believed they had right to their land, the Pilgrims decided to murder as many of them as possible. In the early hours of the morning after the natives had their green corn celebration, English soldiers just showed up and surrounded all of the village while they were sleeping. They then ordered them to come outside, and if they refused to come outside, they would just set their shelter on fire and they were burned alive inside of them. The ones that did come outside were either shot or beaten to death with a club. After this, a new celebration was formed to celebrate the victory and slaying of all of those Native Americans, and it was called Thanksgiving. And it continued. The Pilgrims continued going to different tribes and attacking them, selling children as young as 14 off into the sex slavery, and just murdering anyone else. They would literally fill boats with like 500 people at a time and ship them back to England. fucking bizarre. And despite the treaty that was made, most of the chiefs were beheaded, and the chief of the Wampanoag tribe was specifically beheaded and stuck on a stick for 24 years on display for everyone to see. And so these celebrations and massacres have continued for many years to come. And George Washington became the first president in 1789, and he decided that there should only be one day set aside every year to celebrate all of these successful massacres. When he created the Thanksgiving Proclamation, the Native Americans aren't even mentioned in it one time, even though they were basically the reason that the Pilgrims were able to establish themselves, aka we may not be here today without them.
It's sad to know that for years and years and years you got people celebrating Thanksgiving thinking that it's something that it's not. It's bad out here.
Where do we get December 25th from then? From the pagan holiday called Saturnalia, which actually predates Christianity itself. Saturnalia was a week-long holiday that ran from December 17th through December 25th. During Roman times, they honored the god Saturn, which included human sacrifice, intoxication, naked women caroling, and rape, and much more.
The pagans had something called Saturnalia, and it was a time of lawlessness because all the laws were suspended, and people, a bunch of singers actually wandered the streets naked singing, and then they had orgies, sexual orgies. It was a mass thing. All this business about mistletoe, pagan. Christmas trees, pagan. Giving out gifts, pagan. Every bit of it is pagan. Every single bit of it is pagan. We've Christianized it all.
It's crazy how they got us brainwashed and how they got you just worried about everything but what is supposed to matter.
What very often occurs is that an elite will get to a very old, ripe age, or they will die, or they will die in some sort of an accident publicly. Privately, they are taken, and depending on their level, they are either age regressed or they have their consciousness basically downloaded into a clone that is an exact duplicate of them. They then disappear from the public eye forever and go into these programs or go into retirement. This is something that pops up a lot in the programs, and everyone that is served deeply knows that the elite have access, and many of them never really die.
I be telling people all the time, they clone the animals. Do y'all really not think that they can clone a human being? Come on, y'all.
Was Queen Elizabeth a cannibal? Before her passing, Queen Elizabeth was quite youthful for her age. But was there a darker reason for this? One day, in Buckingham Palace, an electrician was called in to fix a problem with the Queen's private freezer. Upon checking, he decided to open it to check the temperature. Suddenly, to his disbelief, he found strips of filleted meat packaged tightly in plastic seal. Now, of course, you're probably saying, who doesn't have meat in their freezer? In which you would be right, but not everyone has forearms, legs, and a male chest sitting in their freezer. It's thought that maybe the Queen was using cannibalism for spiritual energy and youthfulness at 92. While it's not uncommon for English royalty to divulge in cannibalism, it's been recorded in many books that the predecessors of the Queen used what was called corpse medicine. William III and Queen Mary were both known for drinking potions that contains human skull in their medicine. I don't know how I feel about this conspiracy, but it's definitely interesting. What do you believe?
What do you believe? Do you think she's a reptilian?
Oceans. That's how you get to the outer realms. So the real outer space is beyond the Antarctica and deep within our oceans. That's why if you look at their outer space missions, they're actually in water, floating around in water somewhere in Las Vegas, Nevada, and deep in the Colorado. They ain't out of space. That's why if you look, it's so many people now putting up showing that these space shuttle missions is fake as hell, man. Showing you that they ain't never been out of space. If you really want to go outer space, get your ass on a submarine and go deep within the water. That's the true outer space. And there's so many different alien bases and military base underwater and in the actual ground. They're hollowing out mountains now. They're hollowing out mountains. You can Google this, and they're making inside of mountains underground bunkers and underground military bases. So if they're doing that to the mountains, imagine what they're doing underground in space, in the water. So if you want to go outer space, Go deep sea diving.
You said it's aliens.
Yeah, aliens. And all alien mean is, so Elion is a Hebrew word. That's where they get aliens from. It's really El Elyon. And that just means of the Most High God. Technically, we are aliens. And that's why they studying us. That's why they stealing our melanin. That's why they trying to understand the functioning of our biological vehicles. That's why they can't understand our circadian rhythm, our biological clocks. We are the most different species of humans that the planet ever had. This is all scientifically proven.
Man, that is crazy, y'all. That's crazy. What do y'all think about that? Y'all think outer space is into the ocean? I think it's a possibility because we don't have any true undeniable proof that they went to outer space. But I don't know, I could be wrong.
Another one before that, and that's where you see things like the Gulf of Kambat in India, under 120 feet of water, 9,500 years old, a city 3 miles long, 5 miles wide that matches the description in the Bhagavad Gita that everybody thought was a fairy tale. And that's where you see other places like Corral in southern Peru. Corral collapsed when we are taught that civilization began. Corral collapsed 5,000 years ago, but it goes back another 2,000 years before that. So there's another 5,000 year window, and now Göbekli Tepe and what we're finding now in Antarctica, now that the ice is melting, satellites are showing complex archaeological structures underneath the ice. That ice has been there for 20,000 years. The question is, who was building this stuff 20,000 years ago? So
there's pyramids everywhere.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to give you 48 years of study. I'm going to give you a secret. Nothing in this world is what you think it is. Nothing operates the way you think it does.
What do you mean?
Nothing operates the way you think it does.
What do you mean?
Government does not work the way you think it does.
It's not about people voting for a president.
No, it has nothing to do with that. We're talking money. We're talking control, corporations, big business, period.
It's all big business and money.
Period.
Yeah.
End of sentence. Now, religion is a corporation. It's all the religions of the Western world, especially in the Western world, all religions operate under maritime admiralty law. So there are certain...
What do you mean maritime admiralty law?
Maritime admiralty is the law of water. And I talk a lot about this in the past. I'm going to talk a lot about it in the future.
Okay.
There are only two things on the earth, on this earth, land and water.
Right.
So there are two kinds of law, the law of the land and the law of water. The law of the land is the custom of the people who live on a particular piece of land. So the law of the land is different in every country.
Right.
I mean, you can do things in Russia you can't do in America.
Right.
You can do things in South Africa you can't do in China because it's the law of the land. That particular piece of land has their own custom. So the custom of the people living on a particular piece of land is called the law of the land.
Fox News alert, Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa has just revealed something that Joe Biden, the FBI, and the Justice Department have been trying to hide for years. This allegation, if true, should lead either to the impeachment or immediate resignation of Joe Biden. Primetime was shocked when we found this out just a few hours ago, but it would back up everything that the media has been lying to you about. And if uncovered, would sink Joe Biden's presidency and candidacy immediately. We believe that Joe Biden has been blackmailed by this for years, which would explain why he acts the way he does. Ukraine has tapes of Joe Biden. Ukraine has tapes of Hunter Biden. The highly credible FBI informant says that the Burisma executive who allegedly bribed Joe Biden $5 million to fire the prosecutor has audio recordings of Joe and of Hunter. These audio recordings were kept as an insurance policy in case the Burisma executive got cornered. Here was Senator Grassley on the Senate floor moments ago revealing for the first time that Joe and Hunter Biden may have been captured on recordings with the Burisma executive in Ukraine. You ready? 17 different times. Grassley also reveals that Joe Biden may have gotten Hunter Biden hired at Burisma. And if you thought it couldn't get any more corrupt, it does. The FBI, when it finally released this document with these allegations to House Oversight, redacted out the part about the audio recording.
The 1023 produced to the House committee's redacted reference that the foreign national who allegedly bribed Joe and Hunter Biden allegedly has audio recordings of his conversation with them. 17.
Why would the FBI redact that a Burisma executive has Joe Biden and Hunter Biden on tape? Well, they're either covering up for Joe Biden for political reasons or they're blackmailing Joe Biden. Senator Chuck Grassley continues to detail this explosive development. Listen.
The foreign national possesses 15 audio recordings of phone calls between him and Hunter Biden. The foreign national possesses 2 audio recordings of phone calls between him and then Vice President Joe Biden. These recordings were allegedly kept as a sort of insurance policy for the foreign national in case that he got into a tight spot.
These tapes, if they exist, should immediately make Kamala Harris the Democratic nominee for president. There's no way Joe Biden can continue his candidacy or presidency once these tapes are released. In addition, Grassley says,
man, them tapes didn't get released because he's still the president. They'll never get in trouble for nothing.
Talk enough about, I know President Biden's just so proud of his son, but we have the evidence that Hunter Biden paid tens of thousands of dollars for prostitutes that were sex trafficked through an international sex trafficking ring. Oh. I mean, yes, ick. And President Biden, during about a 4 or 5 month period, offered to pay for about $100,000 of Hunter Biden's bills when he was spending tens of thousands of dollars on these women who are sex trafficked. Now, if that is at a minimum morally reprehensible and wrong, and the president's defending that, and the media isn't even looking into it.
Wouldn't that be a felony? I mean, if you're doing business with a sex trafficking ring, that's more than ethically offensive.
It is grotesque, but the media doesn't concentrate on it. We had that in our report. We had the financial transactions proving it. James Comer does the same thing. But again, it is so icky. It's so reprehensible. It is. People don't want to talk about it, but it's just galling to hear the president talk about how proud he is of Hunter. And he enables this. He enables it by propping up his son, both in terms of those types of words as well as financially. It's really pretty sick.
You know the irony, too, in what you've just shared? So the president's son, just in the last few days, wanted to fight his child support because the family doesn't want to recognize that child as legitimate.
They have evidence that he did this stuff. How is he still the president? Somebody help me out here. This is on Fox News. There's no telling what else they found that didn't get put out to the public.
This is one of the wildest conspiracy theories I've ever heard before. So there's this book called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, which was written in 1893. The story is about a boy named Baron who lives in Trump Castle. And Baron became bored with his life of luxury and decided to go on an adventure. And on this adventure, he was being guided by a man named Don, who helped him find a time travel portal in Russia. Then the same author wrote a sequel 3 years later, and he titled it The Last President. The main plot of this book was about a wealthy man who lived on Fifth Avenue in New York City that decided to run for president. Then shortly after he wins the election that no one thought he could, he's inaugurated and he selects a new cabinet member by the name of Mr. Pence. Then after his inauguration, since no one thought he would win, people erupted into violence, and people started to riot and damage property left and right. So here's where it gets really weird. Nikola Tesla, who had claimed to have figured out time travel, had about 80 trunks worth of his life's work. When he died in 1943, the man responsible for collecting all of his work was an MIT professor by the name of John G. Trump, Donald Trump's uncle. And get this, after John Trump died, there's rumors that Donald Trump inherited Tesla's work. So the theory is, Donald Trump used a time machine to travel into the future where he saw Hillary Clinton win the presidency, which then led the US into a complete collapse. So he traveled back in time, decided to run for president to try to save the country. All right, no more internet today.
Hey, Trump really does not like Hillary Clinton at all. He really does not like her. I gotta check that book out. Have y'all heard them theories that Donald Trump might be the last president and the world might end around that time? Hey, y'all, we getting close to something very serious. I don't know what's going on out here. We might be finding out that this world is a simulation or something. I don't know. But there's just some crazy shows out there. Have y'all seen 1890? Is it 1899? Go watch that show, y'all. I be thinking about that a lot.
Okay, it looks regular right now.
and it becomes not raw because it's not
like his pupil is changing.
It looks like it is.
It dilates and goes back.
So why are you going down to Washington if it's afraid of
And his right pupil is not the same size as his left.
No.
Look, there, now it's fucking back.
He does keep closing his eyes.
It's one of the most incompetently drawn contracts I've ever seen. We could have had a much better deal. We could have had a much stronger deal. We should have doubled up the sanctions, negotiated for strength. We don't get anything. We're getting nothing from this deal. And then you look at certain countries who are opposed to it. Now all of a sudden, out of the blue, they come, as an example, Saudi Arabia. They keep.
Okay, it looks.
Yo, I know y'all can see that, man. And he's trying to like close his eye up. Like, y'all see how he's trying to close it up? I recently just got put on to the American Horror Story when they was talking about the aliens and the reptilians coming together. Man, what if Trump is a reptilian, man, and he's working side by side with the aliens? Good look at it. He's trying to cover it up, man. This shit is real out here, y'all. We can't trust nobody, y'all.
Theory, it is this belief that you are secretly saving the world from this satanic cult of pedophiles and cannibals. Does that sound like something you are behind?
Well, I haven't heard that, but is that supposed to be a bad thing or a good thing? I mean, you know, if I can help save the world from problems, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to put myself out there. And we are, actually. We're saving the world from a radical left philosophy that will destroy this country. And when this country is gone, the rest of the world would follow. The rest of the world would follow. That's the importance of this country. And when you look at some of the things that these people are saying with defund the police and no borders, open borders, everybody just pour right into our country. No testing, no nothing. You know, you talk about testing, no testing. Mexico, as you know, has a very high rate of infection. The wall is now going to be next week 300 miles long. Our numbers are extraordinary on the border. Had that, and this is through luck, perhaps, more than talent, although the talent is getting it built when one party refuses to allow it. You don't hear talk about the wall anymore. But I will say this, we need strength in our country, not weakness.
I just came up with the craziest theory, y'all. What if this whole time, this presidency thing, aside from John F. Kennedy, because I believe he got killed because he was about to expose what was going on. What if this whole time, y'all, the presidency has been the reptilians and the aliens trying to take over? Like how we just saw that video about Trump and his eye, you know, shapeshifting and all that. Like, what if this whole time it's been the aliens and the reptilians trying to become the freaking president, dog? Scary.
If you haven't been living under a rock, then you probably heard about the solar eclipse that's happening on April 8th. And not just any solar eclipse, a total solar eclipse. And what does that mean for us? Well, you're going to find out. Because I'm about to tell you what they're not actually going to let you know. Let's get into it. First of all, what is the total solar eclipse? The total solar eclipse, as we already know, is about the sun and the moon crossing paths at the same time. How is that not a spiritual significance that the light and the dark is actually going to war with each other? And before I start this video, let me tell you, it's just for entertainment purposes only. Clips that happen in Avatar happens to be the same one that we're about to experience in real life. But it just so happens that they put the truth in this cartoon over 20 years ago. It's a reoccurring event that basically happened in a cartoon where the Fire Nation, which was the ones that were the evil guys, they lost their powers. They couldn't firebend anymore, meaning they couldn't control all the other nations and bully people. They didn't have any protection, so they hid underground in their bunkers. Literally, this is the day of judgment. The day of judgment where they know that the spirit is going to become alive on the planet of this realm and is going to be able to fight back against the evil entities. That's why they're getting ready with the National Guard. Make sure that we keep our spirits high and that we have the Holy Spirit within us, because the only way that you're going to survive the prophetic days of darkness is if you keep good spirits high, so you do not get attacked by the spiritual warfare that's going to happen upon the solar eclipse. And my love, until the next time, you already know it.
Keep y'all vibrations high.
What actually is the firmament?
There has been an ongoing debate between Christians who believe the earth is flat and who believe the earth is a globe on the meaning of Genesis 1:7 that states that God made the firmament and divided the waters above from the waters below. Some take this in a literal sense and see the earth as a flat surface that is enclosed by a physical barrier, and that there is water on the other side of this firmament, which explains why the sky is blue. Others take this in a more metaphorical sense and claim that the firmament is in fact our atmosphere and that it is not a physical barrier. Therefore, the earth is a globe. The reason there has been so much debate over this is that there is evidence that suggests that we have not actually been to space. An example being Operation Fishbowl in 1962. Operation Fishbowl was an experiment by the U.S. government where they detonated nuclear in the sky and claimed that it was to test the atmosphere's reaction to them, but many believe that it was really the government attempting to see if they could break through this invisible barrier. What are your thoughts? Is the firmament a physical or metaphorical barrier?
That don't even make sense to just throw bombs into the atmosphere to see how it will react. Like, come on now, that sounds dumb. Ain't no telling what they was up to. They most definitely was probably trying to break that firmament.
The latest predictions from The Simpsons for 2024 are genuinely eerie. This one is absolutely disturbing. In season 24, episode 9, Homer Simpson is preparing a bunker fully stocked with provisions for his family, anticipating something dreadful on the horizon. Shortly after, a solar superstorm strikes Springfield, a silent, invisible tempest sweeping through the town, causing severe consequences. This catastrophic event leads to a complete shutdown. No internet, no electricity, everything comes to a standstill. A solar superstorm could wipe out the internet for weeks or even months or even forever. The portrayal of a solar superstorm in the episode aligns with the potential real-world impact such an event could have. Interestingly, NASA has recently made a shocking discovery, a massive hole in the sun called the Coronal Hole. This hole, large enough to engulf 60 Earth-sized planets, is currently releasing solar storms at a staggering speed of 1.8 million miles per hour and could be headed to Earth fast. The last time the Earth experienced such a storm was in 1859. It was known as the Carrington event. The 2024 solar storm is predicted to be 60 times more powerful than the 1859 solar storm, possibly the strongest ever recorded in history. Such solar storms can have catastrophic effects on Earth, affecting satellite power grids, GPS, and potentially wiping out hard drives and the entire internet permanently. Might take decades for us to recover. It's only a matter of time.
Yo, that's crazy. Hey, lately my GPS been messing up too, so it might already be creeping up on us. Like my GPS would be showing that I'm somewhere I ain't even at. You know what I'm saying? Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll wrap it up for us. I appreciate y'all for always tapping into the channel. It's all love all the time, y'all. Let's run them likes up, run them views up. Share this with everybody. Get the truth out there, y'all. Get these videos out there. Let's expand people's minds. Let's expand people's minds and thought processes. Let's really have people thinking. Let's have people thinking about stuff instead of just taking stuff in and just letting it sit there. You know what I'm saying? But it's all love. I love y'all so much, y'all. We're going to be right back with another video very, very soon. I'm making sure to stay consistent, even though I'm ridiculously busy, y'all. I'm so busy, but I still make sure that I make time for everything that I need to be making time for. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see y'all in the next video.